Hi everyone, my name is Dayna. I am the Buena Vista branch manager with Monterey County Free Libraries, and welcome to STEAM Time. Today we're talking all about winter. Here in Monterey, we don't get to experience snow, but that's okay. Today we're going to be making our very own chili snow dough and our very own snowman. So stay tuned and I'm going to walk you through the supplies you're going to need and how to make your snow dough. Now let's talk about the supplies that we are going to need to make our snow dough. It only takes a few things. The first is going to be lotion. Any type of lotion you have on hand. This lotion I picked up at the Dollar Tree. You're going to need cornstarch, peppermint extract if you have it on hand. Fantastic. If not, don't worry about it. It's just going to add a bit of a wintry scent to the snow dough. You're going to want a mixing bowl, measuring spoons or cups depending on how much snow dough you are going to be making. Iridescent glitter if you have it on hand. You do not need it for the recipe. And then once we make our snow dough, we're going to be making a snowman. So think of things that a snowman has. A nose, it might need a scarf, arms, eyes, a hat, whatever you have on hand to make your snowman. I'm going to be using pipe cleaners, googly eyes, and felt for the scarf. This is also a really good opportunity to go outdoors and collect things in your yard. It could be twigs, leaves, anything that you think might be a good addition to your snowman. So, before we get started mixing our snow dough, let me tell you about what you're going to need to do to both your lotion and your cornstarch before you get started. For the recipe, in order to make the snow dough cold, you're going to want to refrigerate your lotion a couple hours before you mix. It can be 24 hours before, just a few hours, it's up to you. But the longer you leave the lotion in the fridge, the colder your snow dough is going to be. So go ahead and refrigerate your lotion. And for the cornstarch, you're actually going to freeze this. You're going to place the cornstarch in your freezer. It can be overnight, it could be just a few hours, but you want to get your cornstarch nice and cold. So what that's going to do with the cold lotion and the cold cornstarch, when you mix it together, it's going to help your snowball feel like a cold snowball. It's going to have that similar temperature and texture to a real snowball. So the colder you can get your ingredients, the better. And that's all it's going to take. Lotion, some cornstarch, and of course, a spoon for mixing, and that's it. So stay tuned and I'll show you how to make the snow dough. We now have all of our supplies and ingredients out on our table. It's time to get mixing. So the first thing you are going to want to do is pour cornstarch into your mixing bowl. So your mixing bowl can be whatever size. I am using measuring cups. So you're going to want equal parts of cornstarch and equal parts lotion. So for me, I'm going to be mixing 1 cup of cornstarch. And I do recommend doing this over your mixing bowl because the thing with cornstarch, it's very, very messy. So you're going to shake it off. It doesn't have to be exact. I did a little bit more than a cup, but I'm going to go ahead and pour that into my bowl. And let's make sure we get it all out. And I'm going to place this one aside. I'm going to take a clean measuring cup. This is also 1 cup. And I'm going to take my lotion, my cold lotion out of the fridge, and I'm going to squeeze a cup. So since we did a cup of cornstarch, we want to do a cup of lotion. You can make the recipe larger, you can make it smaller. Just make sure the cornstarch and the lotion are equal. So once I have my cup of lotion, let's make sure we get it all out. Okay, I have my cup of lotion. I'm going to add that to my cornstarch. Make sure we get that all out of there. So you should have your ice cold cornstarch and your cold lotion. So now I have a cup of each in my mixing bowl, and you'll see it gets everywhere, but that's okay. That's half the fun. So with our 2 ingredients, I'm going to add a bit of peppermint extract. Again, you do not have to add this. It is completely optional. Add a drop or 2. You don't need very much. And at this point, if you have iridescent glitter of some sort, feel free to add a little bit. I'm just going to add a touch to add some sparkle. Again, you do not need this step. It's purely just for fun. So I have my ingredients in my mixing bowl. I'm going to tip it so you can see my cornstarch, my lotion, my glitter, and my peppermint extract. And I'm just going to begin combining it together. So we're just going to keep mixing. You want to mix it until it starts to almost get a crumbly texture. Now, as you mix, if you notice it's a little too gooey and a little too wet, add a bit more cornstarch. That will help thicken your dough. And if you notice that your mixture is too dry, if you added a touch too much cornstarch, add in a little bit more lotion. And I would probably start with a teaspoon at a time. You don't want too much. So as you're mixing, you want to look for a crumbly consistency. It's going to start to mix together. You can also start to use your hands to mold it. And so let me just give it a couple more stirs. I'm going to set my spoon aside. I'm going to put it right here. And I'm actually going to go in with my hands, and you'll see. I'm going to show it to you. So as you pick it up, you're going to start to be able to mold it just a little bit like this. Mine is getting there. It's a good consistency. Mine's a little bit dry, so I would probably want to add in a bit of lotion. So go for it. I'm just going to add, let's see, 1 little squeeze. Mix that in. I did this at the library once, and it was a lot of fun. I had parents and kids. Everybody walked away with a nice little coating of snow dough on themselves, but everybody had a really fun time mixing. And the cool thing about when you make the snow dough, as you are playing with it and mixing it, because we've added our lotion, your hands get really, really soft. So once you have your dough, the consistency you want, and let me actually show you. So mine is at the point where it can form a ball. So once you get it to that consistency, that is perfect. That is what we are going to need to make our snowman. So we are now ready to take what we collected outside or what we had around the house and begin assembling our snowman. We have now finished mixing our snow dough together, and now it's time for the fun part. It's time to assemble our snowman. So for the sake of time, I went ahead and I made 2 snow dough balls. You can make as many as you would like, depending on how much of the snow dough you made. I just made a tiny little snowman. And I will say, if you find your mixture getting a little bit too crumbly, that's okay. Add a bit more lotion to the mixture. You can always pop your mixture that you made into the fridge for a little bit as well if it's a little bit too runny or gooey. And your snowballs do not have to be perfect. Think about snowballs you may have seen outside. It's okay if they're not perfectly round. Mine, I like to say, just has a bit of character to it. So after you make your snow dough balls, you can begin adding arms and a scarf. You can add a nose to your snowman. Now, whether you went outside and collected twigs or just looked around your house and found maybe fabric, pipe cleaners, whatever you have on hand, I went ahead and gave him 2 little pipe cleaner arms. I made a little scarf out of a green sparkly pipe cleaner, and then his nose and his eyes, I just used construction paper to give him his little carrot nose and his coal eyes. So there you have it. That is our little snow dough snowman. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for this winter themed steam time. I hope you had fun creating your own snow dough and your very own snowman. And if you're interested in learning more about winter or snow, or even how to do more arts and craft projects like this one, definitely check out some of our books that we have. You can go on to our catalog at www.emcfl.org. You can also call our phone team at 831-883-7555, and they'd be happy to help you find more books about winter and snow. We also do curbside service at all of our branches, so definitely check out our website for the curbside hours and days, and you can pick up your materials that way. I hope you have a wonderful rest of December. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have fun creating more snowmen, and I look forward to seeing you for the next steam time. Bye, everyone.